Okay, so let's go on to episode 2 of Sonic 4.
Oh boy.
So, Sonic 4 Episode 1 came out. Critics loved it. Fans weren't too much a fan of it. Believe it or not, the people behind the first game actually listened and have resolved. Sonic 4 Episode 2.
Hold on, Joe. Let me just mention this.
2D title, but it's definitely an improvement.
Not the first impression though. Like the title screen is still a barely animated JPEG. Like
What version is this, by the way?
the PC version.
Okay.
Unlike with the episode 1 tale, episode 2 was developed with a PC version in mind from the get-go, so it released alongside the other versions. Unlike episode,
so much better production values as well.
So this PC port is actually much better. Whereas remember, the PC port of episode 1 only got released later. And it was a port.
New frontier, you say.
As a result, the PC port is not a port of any specific version. It's just made alongside all the other versions. So it looks just like all the others.
I think I see a new frontier right over there.
One of the major things about
Sure, Sonic. It looks just much like the older one.
So yeah, we start.
No. This one's actually different. We've got new ruins.
So yeah, we start with this. There's actually a prequel tie-in comic. It basically boils down to, Eggman is up to no shenanigans and we need to get to it. That's basically it.
We have a first level, but it's not a Green Hill clone.
It's actually based on Aquatic Ruin, too. Go on, Jova, go on.
Are you supposed to do episode metal before this?
We'll do episode metal later, don't worry.
Because episode metal
happens.
I know, Joe, but episode metal, you have to first, at the very least, play at least one act of this before episode metal unlocks. Trust me.
Yeah, you don't actually unlock it straight away.
Okay,
yeah.
to give this game credit right off the bat, it's definitely a better looking game.
Oh, that's not even arguable. Like this game actually.
Better looking and better sounding game. Like, sure, yeah, no. The music may still not be the best, but it doesn't sound like absolute ear-grindingly cheap like episode 1 did.
And the physics
are... is I don't really remember it after I finished playing the game.
And the physics in this game actually has momentum and physics. They're not great necessarily, but they're serviceable.
And hey, look! The game actually remembered that Sonic can have friends that join him on a bench.
Yes,
on that note,
yes, you can play as Tails as your backup. You still cannot play as Tails alone, though, because remember, they were still on that, stupid friends phase, sadly.
To be fair, there's at least more of a reason here in the fact that one of the main gimmicks of this game is the teamwork between Sonic and Tails.
Well... That is true, Joe, but why not also allow us to play as Tails with Sonic as your partner, though?
That is
doesn't that happen in Advance 3?
Well, yeah, which was also made by these developers. Yeah.
In Advance 3, you can pretty much pair up anyone with anyone.
Yeah, so why not bring that system
back? You
back?
just have to mess around with the combinations to see what works.
So yeah, why not bring up that system from Advance 3 back? Also, please
My
mute.
guess is that they're trying to capture the energy from the original Sonic 2.
Yeah, that was instead our question, because I noticed that when Tails has to grab Sonic to fly, they perform a animation. Is that the same one as the attack, the attack team ups for Advance 3?
Possibly, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so Shiro, I believe you had something to say, since you actually played this game recently, you said?
Yeah, I kind of felt like playing it.
Go on.
But, the physics are definitely a lot better, but I think Sonic's too slow still. Like, it takes him forever to actually reach a top speed. It's very sluggish, and it's even worse when you get into the water because of that. It's actually kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I'm not too annoyed by it, but I will agree that it does at times feel like the speed is restrained at times.
Oh, there you go.
And sometimes, like, the way you when bouncing off of objects is strange.
Oh boy!
Like, sometimes he flies too far.
Here comes the special stage opening riff.
Yeah. So, what is the special stage, Pedro?
Okay, so in this stage you'll race through the course collecting rings. You'll need a set number of pass through the checkpoints in place for the stage. If you don't have enough rings, the stage will end. Press A or B for a spin jump, press X or Y to boost Sonic until speed as you make it way to your finish line. Remember that! Because if you don't remember that, you're gonna get screwed over. Because much like the guys at Brain Sketch said in their impressions that they made back in 2012, the game will not require, these stages will not require any use out of said boost ability until the last one. So I swear to you, much like them, I also, by the time I got the special ability, I genuinely even forgot I had a boost ability because the game never at any point requires you to use it until that last special stage.
I just used it anyway.
If I recall correctly, these stages also have special gimmicks that you can do if you're playing co-op wise. Like,
yes.
I believe Sonic and Tails have a net ability where they can form a bond between them, where the more you spread out, you can actually collect rings. And
the game also has
fulfill one of the achievements.
The game also has a multiplayer only achievement because you need one of the achievements in this game is collect every single ring in this special stage 1. However, you cannot do that unless you have a second controller because there's one point in this stage where there's two separate rings on opposite sides of the stage, meaning you cannot possibly get both of them with only one player. So basically, kids, if you want to get all the trophies or achievements for this, get yourself a second controller or a friend.
Get some friends.
Don't have those? Well, fuck you then.
What are those friends you speak of?
I'm pretty sure there's been some mad lads who actually did it on their own, maneuvering the two controllers.
There is one improvement of the special stages in terms of presentation anyway. Is that unlike Sonic 2, where the stage just stops if you fail, it actually shows Sonic and Tails just falling over and giving up.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, Tails' ring count also goes towards your count, so that is a nice bonus. Although I forget if AI Tails can lose rings.
Alright, so now that I've actually completed one act, now I can unlock episode medal.
I'm actually curious on one thing. It's a very minor detail, so again, it really means nothing, but is there any significance in the order of the colors of the emeralds that are obtained?
Colors of the rainbow. Colors of the rainbow.
No, that I know, but like, is there like a pattern? Maybe in this case we obtain the turquoise.
No, there's not. No, it depends on the game too. Like for example, in Sonic 2, the first emerald you get is the green one.
Because I know, for example, that the 7 rings for the Wii game do represent instead of emotions.
I will say this: starting with Sonic Superstars, it looks like there will be more of a difference between the different colors of ring.
Okay, so Anjo, I have to answer this so I can answer your question. Notice how I still can select episode medal. So, you're probably wondering, how do I unlock? And before you ask, yes, I do have episode 1 on Steam, so yes, it should unlock. So you're probably wondering...
I found out how you do it by accident.
Yeah, what you have to do, Jova, is you have to start the game and then quit back to the main menu and then get back into the game, as you're about to see. See? Hold on.
Yep.
I'll admit, it's been such a long time since I played Sonic 4.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on. And now, it lock-on system engaged. Thanks for unlocking episode 1. As a special bonus, a hidden episode starring Metal Sonic has been... There you go, Jova. That's why I couldn't start with Metal Sonic episode Metal right away. See?
But it immediately throws you into the cutscene right now.
Although I'll admit, I thought nowadays there was like a complete version of Sonic 4 that automatically unlocks that stuff.
You have to get you still have to get 2 episodes separately. There's no complete edition of the game.
A long time has passed.
So yeah,
the events of CD.
Yeah, believe it or not, the plot of Sonic 4 Episode 2 is sort of a bit of a follow-up to Sonic CD, essentially.
Remember, that's because at the time that this game came out, Christian Whitehead's remake of Sonic CD had also just came out, so it was a tie-in.
And I'm guessing people were still did not knew for certain if CD came before or after 3 in terms of time.
Well, we now know that.
No. CD came before 3 on the timeline. The thing people were wondering about was which came first between CD or 2.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking at the time this game came out because until the Origins port, I don't think it was ever confirmed outright.
No. Everyone always knew that CD came before 3 on the timeline. It was always the debate was between 2 and CD.
It's you can do anything. Yay.
Yes, I like that. Yes, they got a lot of Sonic CD motifs here, which I appreciate.
Alright, moving on. The episode Metal Stage world map has just been unlocked. How did Metal Sonic make his comeback after Sonic the Hedgehog CD? Find out in this look behind the scenes of Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 1. So basically, Episode Metal takes place at the same time that Episode 1 takes place.
Essentially, the plot of Sonic 4 Episode 2 is this. Little Planet from CD has returned, and with it so has Metal.
Okay.
That Eggman sees an opportunity.
So this translates into us playing into altered versions of Sonic Episode 4 Episode 1 stages. And let's just say the way Mad Gear starts is questionable, as you're about to see. Alright, let's start Act 1, Metal Sonic Returns.
I do like the twist that the evil Science Slayer is actually the beginning level. So yeah, Metal has seen better days, to say the least.
Yeah, getting the fucking robot change.
All part of the restoration process.
Apparently.
Now he's glowing.
Because.
It is new.
Also, take a look at how this act starts. They started while surrounded by fucking slicers.
Hey, look,
They're just having a giggle.
Like,
Look at that
fight, man.
look at that, Pedro. You were able to take them all out without getting hit, because Metal's just that powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I got this warning before touching this DLC.
Okay. See, here's the other thing, by the way. Just like in episode 1, there's always this constant thing where every time I try to homing attack an enemy, for some reason sometimes I still get hurt, even though I shouldn't. There's clearly there's some kind of detection issue there. But yeah, this is basically it. This is just Sonic 4 Episode 1 with altered stage layouts and only one act per zone this time. To be fair, Metal Sonic controls just like Sonic does in Episode 2. So basically this is your way of playing Sonic 4 Episode 1 stages with Sonic 4 Episode 2 physics. Not that it matters much. It doesn't really matter much, to be honest with you. The only thing Episode Metal explains is how Metal Sonic got into Little Planet, which, to be honest, is not exactly something that I'm exactly going to lose sleep over if I didn't know. So honestly, I mean, it's a neat little thing, I guess. But like Johnny said in his review, I would much rather have proper lock-on where I can play with Tails in Episode 1. Wouldn't that make more sense? Like Sonic and Knuckles did?
To be fair, I don't think we had to give that up because they made an Episode Metal.
Oh, I get that. I mean, you can have Episode Metal as well, but why not also give us the ability to play as Tails in Episode 1, just like Sonic and Knuckles give us the ability to play as Knuckles and Tails as Knuckles in Sonic 2 and shit like that.
So, does Metal Sonic have that special shield move for this, or
No.
does he just play completely like Sonic?
No, he's a reskin, that's all it is. Unfortunately, that's the thing, in the cutscenes, you see him gaining the powers and abilities, but we never get to use them. Well,
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm a bit disappointed, but I get it logistically why they would do that, you know, to save programming time and everything, but it's a bit disappointing because, you know, Metal Sonic is always being built up as this alternate version of Sonic, but yes, it's based on the original, but has its own unique traits, and, you know, above everything else, you know, is a completely roboticized type of enemy. So I kind of wish we got something different out of the experience.
Still with the occasional identity crisis he has.
Yep.
Alright, moving on. Yeah, that's not really that much to say. Also.
I hate those things.
Yeah.
You gotta time it right with them.
There's not really that much to say. It's just Sonic 4 Episode 1 with and episode like to be honest, by this point I'm just tired of these zones. I'd rather, but whatever. Gotta go for Episode Metal so we can explain how Metal Sonic got into Episode 2, I guess.
I forgot already, you know, how precise the soundtrack was, but the soundtrack for this, wow.
Damn.
That was a long way down.
Damn. Go on.
You're
Tail.
having people there, mate. Are the soundtracks the identical same as the 101, or are they mixed?
That was my bad. Yes, the songs have not been altered. They're the same.
Bit of a waste of opportunity.
That's the thing. Well, actually, that's a good segue. Blibs, talk about the soundtrack of this game, since I know you have strong feelings about it.
Yes, I don't really like it.
Isn't that the same thing you said for episode 1, essentially?
No. Episode 1 at least has somewhat better melodies, even if the sound font is a lot to be desired. Let me just get it for reference so I can refer to it on my PC. But basically, I don't think very highly of episode 2's soundtrack. A lot of it is somehow even more repetitive than episode 1's, and some of the the ones past Act 1 have really questionable melodies in them and sounds. I mean, you thought the cats were bad in episode 1. Wait till you hear the ducks later on.
Yeah.
Not to mention, again, I mean, yes, the sound font in some cases is better, other times, no, not so much. There's a reason I put this soundtrack in the bottom tier, C tier, it's right alongside great company, Sonic and the Secret Rings and Shadow the Hedgehog.
I mean, those are much better soundtracks anyway.
Well, it's like I said before, Jova. They're in a tier, but it doesn't necessarily mean one is better than the other instant tier.
Yeah, I know. That said, I have to disagree with you on pretty much all accounts, admittedly. Speaking as a musician, I find Sonic 4 Episode 2 to be a far better soundtrack than that of Episode 1. That being said, I also did give my kudos to Episode 1, that I did feel like the melodies were there, if a bit repetitive. I think Episode 2 actually does go out of its way to not be as repetitive, with some exceptions here or there.
The problem is that... Sorry, go on.
Like I said, I actually do like all of the boss music in Episode 2, even Eggman's in that regard.
My problem is that...
Because the instrumentation there is better than what was given in Episode 1, which gives it a better rendering.
Yeah, the instrumentation is better. Yeah, the instrumentation of the pinch theme of Episode 1 is better, yes, but it's still just an 8-second loop, like, repeated. Like, couldn't you come up with, like, at the very least extend it, at least, you know?
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I do like it, but it could have been better still.
Yeah, here's a thing that I can mention that they could have done in order to alter, give a difference in Sonic with Metal Sonic. Like, he's supposed to have a reactor on his ass. So, like, why can't we recreate something akin to the super mode that after getting a certain amount of rings, you can fly even without a super state with him?
It's Sonic here, that's kind of what they did for Super Sonic in Origins.
Well, I'm not talking about Super Sonic, I'm talking about Metal Sonic here. Like, mostly because, integrated the design with the gameplay without having to necessarily have the Chaos Emeralds to do that. I don't know. Yeah, we see Metal Sonic flying constantly in cutscenes and boss fights, but now he's surprisingly grounded. Yet
another case of seeing all these toys that we don't get to use.
Again, my justification might be he's just being repaired, he's rebooting the systems and everything. But
too.
By the same token, I can easily accept that he would be able to fly again immediately.
My logistical reason is that they didn't want to go too crazy because all Metal got were essentially these 4 episodes.
Like I said, I still would have also liked some retro compatibility with, Episode 1.
Wow.
What happened there?
I have no
clue. He lost his balance, so
okay.
But it didn't look like that.
I think after getting to the second ramp, Pedro was supposed to go to the opposite direction.
Here's the
yeah.
I like I said, I would have liked to see the ability to play as both Metal Sonic and Tails in Episode 1, but I mean the proper Episode 1, not Episode Metal. Like, that would have been nice to also have. I mean, Sonic and Knuckles did that.
It is a bit weird, like, even Sonic Forces lets you play as Shadow in all of Sonic's levels.
I'm actually curious instead of another thing. Have the fan projects ever made a demake of these two games in 16-bit form?
Yes, there has, and it's quite the spectacle, yes.
I'm actually curious about that.
and that's the thing too. Oh yeah, I actually like this scene because this scene is kind of funny. So Metal Sonic finds whatever this is, and his first thought is ooh shiny, and absorbs it.
Well, experience has taught Sonic to investigate anything that glows, so why not?
So what the hell was? So I have no idea what the hell that was. Why did he absorb it, and what exactly it does? But
maybe it really was the fun.
Never mind, that it's time to go to the casino.
yeah, that's the other thing.
New power on the slots.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Again, it's like Johnny said in his review of episode 2. For something that is, remember, supposed to be a quote-unquote sequel to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's still missing so many things that Sonic 3 introduced. Where are the stage-to-stage transitions? Where the hell is Knuckles?
Supposedly, Knuckles was supposed to show up in episode 3 of 4, with each episode consequently being like a parallel to each of the classic games.
Okay, you know what, Sonic? Sorry. You know what, Jova? How about this? I'll just put it in the simplest way I can. You know that game, that awesome-looking game we're getting called Sonic Superstars?
Yes.
That's the game we should have gotten back in 2010 instead of this.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I'm just going off of why Knuckles wasn't around yet. If I recall correctly, word is that they were saving him for episode 3, because you know how episode 1 had correlated to Sonic 1, and episode 2 is clearly correlating more so to Sonic 2.
It's kind of this thing where it makes me question it. It's kind of like with something like, for as much as I like Sonic Frontiers, it does make me question. If Kishimoto always had a game like this in him, how come wasn't this the game we got instead of Forces?
I mean, that's easy. Sega's mandating. He has pretty much gone on record to say that part of the reason Frontiers got to be as good as it was because Iizuka ran interference and got Sega to finally back off on, constraining Sonic Team to that. And even still, they rushed them a bit.
I've also heard from multiple areas, it's like, because Frontiers is the kind of game they actually wanted to make. That's the thing.
Yeah. Basically, we can blame Sega for a lot of why Kishimoto didn't get to make the game he wanted to make. Frontiers is him finally getting to realize that vision. And I will say this, one thing I've loved about Kishimoto is how open to the fan base he has been via Twitter. And maybe a little too open, given that fiasco with the porn, but honestly, should we really be mad at the man for being cool? He's
a fucking...
Leave the man alone.
He's a fucking adult. There's nothing wrong with watching porn. Fuck off. Go on, Teo. Go on.
I'm instead reminded of another thing. Didn't recently a giant document leak about the whole situation with the internally at Sega in the Saturn era?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, trust me, Teo. The fact that Sega was a shit show of a company during the Saturn era is not a secret to anybody at this point.
But I was saying with that we have technically official confirmation of a lot of things we'd only speculated about.
More detailed explanations.
Here's the main summarization with Sega. They were questionable, but stuff really went a bit sideways when Sammy, a gambling company, purchased them.
Yeah.
Hence their official name currently being Sega Sammy.
You also have to, you can check the Golden Bolt video on the topic, but basically, back in those, the reason that happened to begin with was because Sega's management did such terrible decisions where even though the president of Sega kept telling them, no, we should not make the Dreamcast, it's not going to work out in the end, and yet they still did it against his advice, and lo and behold, what he predicted would happen ended up happening, and the company lost a shit ton of money. Don't get me wrong, the Sega Dreamcast is a very beloved console with a lot of great games, but that doesn't change the fact that it cost the company a shit ton of money. And if the if I forgot his name, the president of Sega at the time, like if the board of directors would have actually heeded his advice, maybe things could have turned out differently. But of course not, because Japanese executives are known for their stupid pride that they can't let go of.
Like Pedro said, that eventually led to them having to get bought up by Sammy, and that's when stuff really got screwy. That
Also,
said,
it came out on my birthday.
also,
Was
you
it
gotta
Hayamaki armor at that point?
hold on, let me finish. Also, you gotta love the irony that Nintendo, of all people, saved Sega's asses by letting them go third party with their console first so that they could make a name for themselves still and allow
Get
them to
back
carry
in
on
your
as a third
box.
party did.
Oh, there's the rocket.
Well, it wasn't just Nintendo. Remember, they also made a partnership with Xbox to get some Sega exclusives like Panzer Dragoon Orta and Shenmue 2.
But if I recall correctly, Nintendo was the safety net before they established that
They
deal with
even published a
Xbox.
pair of games that From Software made for the Xbox. I forgot what they're called specifically.
So yeah, basically, while Sonic and Tails got ahead, Metal Sonic found that rocket that Tails left behind and figured, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, so basically, Metal Sonic just stole Tails' rocket.
And that's how he catches up to them.
Hold on. If Episode Metal takes place at the same time that Episode 1 does,
No, it doesn't.
doesn't it?
No.
I thought it happened in
No.
between episodes.
Yeah. It happens in between episodes, like I mentioned earlier.
Well, okay, in that case, hold on. If Sonic already used the Tails rocket to get to the evil lair in the Episode 1, how come the Tails rocket is still in the same spot it was in Episode 1, though?
He didn't,
Another
he didn't have
rocket,
just
huh?
one.
So Tails just left a whole bunch of rockets in that specific
Pedro,
place.
Yeah, that's what I said in the last part.
Pedro,
Like,
Pedro.
I would like to
Pedro.
remind you, this is the child that systematically exterminated the population of a cuckoo because they disturbed his sleep.
I guess.
Also, keep in mind, Pedro, all the stuff that Tails leaves lying around in the Mystic Ruins area as well, from
True,
his gadgetry
yeah.
and whatnot.
Tails, gotta take better care of your shit. Alright.
Keep in mind, he left an experimental plane on the beach by the hotel for any government official to take and replicate.
Alright, tune in for the next part, everybody.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.